Welcome to today's episode of The Untold. I'm your host Abdullah Al-Hindiani. For today's episode, we have a personal trainer, AlQaddoumi, who's going to be talking to us about his journey from going for a very obese weight limit to now, I would say, very much in health, very much into fitness, and very much into having the best shape of his life. If you're interested in that kind of topic, stay tuned. We'll come right back with him. And we're back with AlQaddoumi, who has an amazing personal journey he'd like to talk to us. But first, I do want to welcome you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I mentioned briefly you have an amazing story because we have our own research, but just educate us about yourself, introduce us.
Okay, so do you want like a backstory of like when I started the fitness journey, or just in general, just my life here?
Yeah, just to give a brief idea, you are a personal trainer who
Yes.
has suffered with obesity, and then, mashallah, I believe the audience can see the results of your journey. So just.
Okay, so going back, basically all throughout high school, I actually wasn't that fat, or I wasn't actually that obese. I was kind of on the buffer side, let's say.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, so back in 2020,
Right.
like mid 2019, 2020, when nobody could just go out, everybody's just basically stuck at their houses. This is when I resorted to food as like a source of comfort, basically.
Yeah.
I think the majority of us has like had that issue. So food became my number one comfort. So I started to overeat until I basically just blew up and became extremely unhealthy. So for the past like 2 years, so all the way from 2020 to 2021, I was in the worst shape ever, man. So I couldn't even breathe properly. I couldn't even tie my shoes. Just walking, even in my house, I got tired. So alhamdulillah, when everything started to open up
Yeah.
back again, the gyms started to open up back again, I took it upon myself to just at least give it a try. I didn't even have any expectations, honestly. So I just wanted to give it a try. Went to the gym, fell in love with the process actually. Like just having that good sweat in the
Right,
gym
yeah.
really felt like it was an amazing experience. So I didn't have any goals to have a six pack or just be like a personal trainer.
It's healthy goals.
Just healthy goals, just
Right,
just
yeah.
to move my body.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I saw results day after day after day, or let's say not day after day, like week after week.
Right. Yeah.
And I started to take it just a little bit more serious. Started to experiment with newer diets. Let's try the keto diet. Let's try a low carb diet, carb cycling. Just trying everything,
Everything, yeah.
basically that you read on social media, until I found the sweet spot that works for me. استمريت. I kept on just with my diet, with my training, started to intensify my training just a little bit more, and I started to see a lot of results.
Yeah.
2 years into it, I got in the best shape of my life.
Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Right.
Because I was very consistent, because I was very determined to actually really do it, like change my health. And yeah, so that's basically the start of my journey. This year, so this is like 3 years after, because I know what I'm doing,
Right.
or because like, yani,
You have
I
the
basically,
experience now.
I have the experience, I changed my life. I want to take it upon myself to actually inspire other people.
Right.
So there's a lot of people like these days, the new trend is just Wanjalo or like Ozempic or just like these weight loss injections and amaliyat takmeem. I don't know what they
Right.
call that. I think it's called a bypass surgery.
Yeah.
I don't want people to resort to that, because my father, he also used to be obese. He had one of those surgeries. It deteriorated his health.
Right. Yeah.
It's actually not healthy. Okay, he lost the weight, but he can't eat anything.
Yeah. The price outweighs the benefits.
Exactly. So I want people to understand, is it a hard journey? Of course it is,
Right.
but it is so worth it, man.
Yeah.
Just the amount of confidence that you have in yourself, just the amount of respect and confidence that people have towards you. You walk into any room, people just acknowledge you because they see, okay, this is a fit person that has his life together, that has discipline, that has self-respect. So you're just in that other like level, basically.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, that's what I actually want to try to inspire people to just live a healthier life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do love how you emphasize the idea that you first got into this whole journey because, you were having problems doing the smallest of things, right?
Yeah, just tying my shoes, man.
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
mundane things. And that really resembled kind of my story because the audience, they can go to your socials. At your heaviest, you were 130
131.
131 kilograms, which is honestly, go to his socials and look at his,
Yeah.
obese photos. It's an amazing
I
transformation.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, I was 10 kilos below that, so my heaviest was 120, and I do understand the feeling you said when you were, just doing small things like climbing the stairs. I was out
Oh
of
yeah.
breath,
Oh
and
yeah.
it takes so much out of you.
It's not even just about you getting out of breath just from doing small tasks.
Right.
Man, it's just the fact that you want to put on some nice clothes. Nothing fits you properly.
Yeah.
So that really does like plays with your psycho or like plays with your mind a little bit. So it just gets mentally frustrating more than it is physically frustrating sometimes. So of course the health like deteriorates over time if you're overweight, but just the mental aspect of it is also very exhausting. I used to wake up tired, man.
Right. Yeah.
You know that feeling? Just
Yeah.
waking up tired just because you know that okay, I look the same way that I've looked for the past I don't know how long. I don't feel good. I wake up with heartburn. I just wake
Yeah.
up just feeling sluggish basically.
Yeah.
So you're just basically slaving throughout your day, which is not it's not even a healthy way to live. It's just not a way to live.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe there's like a medical correlation to that, because when you're sleeping and you're obese, you're not getting the proper air
I
circulating
think
in
they
your
call
body.
that sleep apnea maybe.
Yeah, or
right?
something.
Yeah.
So you wake up. Not only are you mentally, exhausted because of the way you look, but you also feel physically tired.
100%, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually used to wake up sweating sometimes.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, just by sleeping.
Just by sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the audiences who are, I wouldn't say in the same position, but are trying to be better at themselves. They want to, be prepared mentally. Those first few days in your journey, how did that going to exercise, this new world, how did it affect your daily life?
Okay, so the first few days actually were pretty easy. The
Yeah.
beginning stages of losing weight is actually very easy. It's not as hard as people think it is.
Right.
It's because you have all this built up energy, so it's actually not as hard. You're actually way more motivated because you just started this new diet, you just started this new lifestyle. You're actually more motivated, believe it or not. It's when you hit a plateau, or
Right.
it's like when you hit that 2 month mark in the gym. Now you're not seeing the results as fast as you usually see them. There's something we call in the gym terminology, basically, it's newbie gains.
New begins.
Newbie gains is basically the first time you start building muscle, you build them very quick. Like the first month or two in the gym, bro, you're about to build a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
Just by going to the gym. Even if you're not on a diet, even if you're not training properly, you're about to build a lot of muscle because your body's not used to this amount of stress, so it has no other option but to grow. But when you hit that plateau, which is like basically in the 2 month, 3 month mark, depending on how genetically your body works, basically. This is when you actually really have to like basically have that mental strength to say, you know what? Even though I'm hitting a plateau, I'm not seeing that result. I know by me showing up every single day and sticking to what works is eventually going to pay off.
Yeah.
So you are going to hit a plateau. Everybody does. I still hit plateaus to this day. But I always remind myself why I started. I always remind myself that, hey, even if there's like a small bump in the road, that does not mean the whole road is closed.
Right. Yeah.
We can always find a way. There's always a solution to everything. So I don't want people to take the fact that, okay, I hit a plateau. That means, oh, the diet is not working, or, oh, I'm not going hard enough. No, you're doing it correctly. Just stay focused on the plan. If there's some slight adjustments that we need to do to your diet or to your training, we can fix that, and then you can actually start seeing results again. But it's that point where people hit the plateau. They just need to have that mental strength to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's where discipline basically kicks in. I'm sure you've heard like all over Instagram, those like the motivational pages that always talk about when motivation fades, keep discipline alive, and all of that type of talk, because it's true. People don't really understand. Discipline is basically you doing something that you don't want to do, but for a greater good or for a greater cause.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're supposed to do it happy. It doesn't mean that every single day is about to be easy. No, this is you're not just building a body, you're building your character, you're building your mindset, you're building a bulletproof mindset that says, you know what, there is nothing about to stop me. If I have a goal in mind, I'm gonna go for it. There is nothing about to stop me. I'm always gonna figure out a way.
Yeah.
So I developed that over time. Even though I was like, sometimes when I remember like in the beginning stages, man, the first 2 months were absolutely amazing. I lost a lot of weight. Then that's when the plateau hit.
came.
Yeah, that's when the plateau hit. Bro, you know when you feel demotivated,
Right,
really, really demotivated or defeated, let's just call it, because you saw all these results, now you stopped.
And then how did you overcome that phase?
Just kept on reminding myself, like people will think I'm crazy, but I actually talk to myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you actually need to talk to yourself because let's be honest, especially being a man in this generation, nobody really cares about you. Everybody cares about themselves. Everybody really just basically wants their own benefit to themselves. So
Right.
nobody's really going to sit you down and talk to you and say, hey, you know what?
So
You're a
you have
man.
to be your own guy in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically what I can say, I don't want to sound too like rude or basically too like overly confident, but you
Yeah.
just have to man up basically.
Right. Yeah.
You know that term? Just
Yeah.
man up. So is it going to be hard? Of course it is. But you just have to keep on reminding yourself. If it takes you talking to yourself, if it takes you taking a couple of days off just so you can clear your head,
Right.
by any means necessary, just keep going.
It's all about being in that correct headspace. Yeah.
Of course, you have to know how to calm your mind in the midst of chaos.
And also because you are, mashallah, very knowledgeable. So a lot of people don't know, especially those people who will get frustrated with diets,
Yeah,
is that the first period they're losing a lot of water weight.
of course.
So
Yeah,
that's why their weight drops down fast. And then when it plateaus, that's because now they're actually in the hard parts.
100%.
But then that's where they are like, oh, I'm not losing weight, so I'm gonna eat back again because nothing's working. But that is the moment they gotta stick with it.
Exactly.
Like you said.
See, because that's the moment where your body is going to start tapping to your fat stores for energy, just like
Yeah.
you mentioned. See, the first couple of basically weeks, maybe even months, just depending on how heavy you are, your body does excrete a lot of water, basically.
Yeah.
The entire like 10 kilos that you lost in the first month, that's just water weight. For your body to actually tap into that fat and start burning it for fuel, that takes a little bit more time. So this is just like you mentioned. This is when we start to like really have to develop that
Right.
that mentality of, you know what, hey, now is getting serious. Now I'm gonna push even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I do love how you emphasize the idea of having a, I would say tough mentality,
Yeah.
because you've mentioned also the influencers on social media, and I do want to highlight one specific influencer who I think sets himself apart because he is so experienced in this, David Goggins.
oh,
And I believe he is
Yeah.
maybe motivational to millions of people. And I do
motivational to
love,
me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually like at the beginning stage. I don't want to say that the first motivational guy that motivated me into this journey, but he was one of them basically. Yeah,
Yeah, and I do love how his approach is that, it's all mind over matter, right? Your mind is such a powerful device and people are not using it properly. Like all of this journey is all about having the correct mind space.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to circle it back to your journey specifically because we've highlighted so much of your going to the gym. But what other, steps did you take in your first weight lossing, behavior that kind of affected your journey as well?
Affected my journey.
Yeah.
I would say the hardest thing that I had to overcome, honestly, just the social isolation, man.
Oh.
See, because when you're planning on basically building an entirely new lifestyle, not a lot of people in your circle, like let's say your friends or family, have that same vision. Everybody has their own life, right?
Really?
So, for me to actually live that healthy lifestyle, it required me to stay more at home instead of going out on the weekends with my friends. It had me saying no to junk food, no to certain events, no to having that big social life that I used to have back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think the mental aspect that really kicked in was like, hey, this is kind of hard because of the social isolation. So it's not to an extreme where you're not going out completely, but you're not going out as frequently with your friends. You're
Yeah.
kind of missing out on certain events that you want to basically attend, but it's all for a greater good. So I think that was like the hardest thing. Yeah, social isolation.
Yeah, and I do share with you that because going from 120, which is my heaviest, to I think 92, which is my lightest in so many years.
Yeah.
The thing I miss the most is when my friends go out and they take pictures of the food they've had.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, come on, you gotta picture it as well. Just keep it in your stomach.
Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
just keep
just
it
keep
to
it in your
yourself.
stomach.
I'm on a diet here. I don't want to look at
Yeah.
food now.
Yeah. We have to take a very quick break, but we are gonna come back to continue this conversation. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and I do want to put you on the spot for one specific question.
Okay.
Because we've highlighted the mental aspect that it takes to lose weight, the physical aspect of it. But what other setbacks you personally faced that kind of, I would say, made it a little hard for you to continue, but you still continued?
I wouldn't say I had major setbacks, honestly. because I did like over time develop that bulletproof mentality that I was just talking about, so
Yeah.
I didn't really face any major setbacks. uh I guess you can say missing out on travels, like the majority of my family lives outside of Kuwait,
Yeah.
so I kind of had to like miss a couple of vacations with the family just so I can stay focused on my goals, because I know if I travel I'm gonna basically overeat, I'm gonna basically
Yeah.
enjoy myself way too much. So missing out on family vacations basically. uh Actually, what I would say also as well is, so this is basically my last year in university. So this is the, I'm almost done.
Oh,
Yeah,
inshallah. Yeah.
yeah, inshallah.
Good luck.
So I would say because I'm very focused on bodybuilding, or because I was very focused at the time on losing weight, I was like, basically that was like my entire day. Because let's be honest, bodybuilding is a 24-hour sport.
Yeah.
The difference between bodybuilding and, let's say, any other major sport such as football, basketball, all those sports are basically team sports. If one person basically misses or one person messes up, the other teammate can basically lift you or like take your
Yeah.
space in that given time. Bodybuilding is a 24-hour sport, man. So you have to be on the clock 24/7, which means that you have to sometimes be in that mode where nothing else matters but this. Every 2 hours I have to eat a meal. If I cannot skip a cardio session, I cannot skip a workout session or nothing. So it did kind of have me going a little bit crazy when it was like on my finals exams,
Yeah.
because I needed to focus on my finals so I can graduate.
But you
But at
also
the
have
same
a
time,
24-hour job.
exactly, I have a 24-hour job,
Yeah.
and plus with on top of that, I'm a personal trainer, so I also have other people's responsibility at my hand.
Yeah.
So I think that would be like the hardest challenge that I face, but I wouldn't call it a setback.
Yeah. And speaking of, you did mention you're eating 2 hours every 2 hours. So I
Yeah.
do want to ask you, what habit or food, I would say behavior changed the most in your journey?
What habit or food changed? You mean like,
Like your habits of eating, right? Because I know for a lot of people, they schedule their food times. A lot of people have
I
one
do that,
meal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I actually do understand your point, yeah. So the way that I'm eating these days, I'm not really eating for taste. I'm just eating for function.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, bodybuilding food isn't the most amazing tasting food.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
good food. You can still enjoy it. Chicken and rice. You got eggs. You got toast. You got everything you want. But it's all in calculated
Amounts.
quantities,
Yeah.
basically amounts. So I think the biggest thing that changed when it came to my habits, like back when I was fat, I just used to eat till I'm overly full. Or let's say I used to eat till I wanted to pass out.
Oh.
But now I'm always like leaving a little bit of room in the tank. Because I'm eating every 2 hours, my meals are small.
Yeah.
They're not really that
And
large
also
of a
they're
portion of meal.
calculated, so you know
Of course.
precisely what you're eating.
100%. Everything
Yeah.
is going to be measured on the scale. So I'm eating, I'm satisfied. I'm not full, but I'm satisfied. So I think that's something that really did change.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And speaking of change, for the audiences who are in a position you were 3 years ago,
Yeah.
when you first started your workouts, what kind of workouts or exercises tackled along first?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I just went with the flow. There's a lot of people that would hire a personal trainer, which I do recommend.
Yeah.
So you do
Yeah.
not injure yourself, and so you can actually have like a calculated plan, so you don't take a long time to reach your results. But for me, basically, I just saw what people were doing in the gym. I was just following their footsteps. So every gym has like a couple of coaches that work for the gym,
Yeah.
not necessarily personal trainers, just normal trainers that work in a gym. So I would just look at those people, because I was also like kind of on the shyer side. Let's say when I first entered the gym, not really shy, but I was just like, I didn't want to be too much. I didn't want to ask a lot of people
Yeah.
for help. I just wanted to show up and act as if I knew what I was doing. So I would just look at the coaches. Okay, he was doing the bench press, that targets the chest. He was doing this, it targets the tricep. So I was just looking around and just figured out, okay, these exercises target these type of muscles.
Yeah.
I was going like 3 to 4 times a week. I wasn't very consistent, like on going every single day. I was going like every other day. I would just see the coaches training. I'd just follow their footsteps until I started to feel that pump, started to burn a lot of calories and everything. This is when I resorted to YouTube. Learned everything that I knew basically on YouTube and online. Reading forums from bodybuilders, reading motivational stories from a lot of people such as David Goggins, just watching his workout routine. Basically took all this information online on a daily basis and formulated the perfect plan for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I do want to highlight that idea that you formulated a plan that works for you. And I
Yeah.
think if we are going to leave the viewers with one key takeaway, is that don't take any plan, but try and try and try until you see what works for you.
Exactly, because everybody's different, and
Right.
everybody's daily schedule is different. There's a lot of people that, such as yourself, you're busy. You can't be on the gym 24/7, so
Yeah.
you have to find the certain timing to work out. Sometimes you have to like basically take two workouts and make it into one. There's a lot of people that cannot train every single muscle per day. They have to like maybe train chest and back on the same day because
Yeah.
they can't go to the gym tomorrow. So you need to find a way where we can make those workouts work for your benefit and we can still see results. So yes, I do believe that everybody's different. Everybody does require an individual plan that works for them because basically everybody's,
Different.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of your journey, specifically, at what point did you decide to become a personal trainer? Like you've taken this from something of a personal story,
Yeah.
and then you want to educate others about it.
So I recently just started to personal train. I have like a year of experience basically.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, so I'm very recent when it comes to personal training. Honestly, I just posted one of my pictures online, which is basically on my TikTok. You can find me on my TikTok on _AlQaddoumi. So I posted one of my pictures. I got a lot of views for that. Like you're talking 250,000 views,
Mashallah.
250K
Okay.
in just like a month. And there was a lot of DMs, people just telling me, hey, how did you start? How did you do this? How can I do that? How did you not have loose skin? All these questions. So I said, yeah, you know what? I might not have the certifications of a personal trainer, or like I don't have the uh, basic knowledge that you get like academically to be a personal trainer, but I have experience and I
Yeah.
know what works for me, and I've tried multiple diets and multiple workouts, and I know that they work for a fact. So I guess it's just me having that confidence in myself, that knowing, hey, you know what? I don't really need to have like a degree in personal training for me to be a personal trainer. I'm just gonna choose one of the people that DM me and tell them, hey, you know what? Let me just train you for free.
Yeah.
I just want to see. I just want to test the waters.
Yeah.
So called up the guy. I actually took the information of the guy. We talked on the phone. He said, hey, I can just work out 4 times a week. I said, okay, I'm gonna formulate the perfect plan, meal plan, diet plan, everything, supplementation, whatever it is that you need. I'm gonna basically make you my project. He agreed. I agreed. Everybody's happy. We started. Within the first month, he dropped a lot of weight. He dropped 10 kilos.
Mashallah.
Up until this point, I wouldn't say that he's in the best shape of his life. He's not like ripped or six pack, but he lost a lot of weight. So he started at 160 kilos. The guy is almost close to 137
Mashallah.
now.
Yeah.
And that was 4 months ago or 5 months ago almost. Yeah, so just by me transforming this guy, I knew that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So this is when I started to accept more requests from the DM, and this is when I started to actually take this into a business. Well, alhamdulillah, I have like close to 12 clients on my roster.
Mashallah. Alhamdulillah.
Some of them are online. I just
Yeah.
do like one-to-one coaching online because not everybody has like the luxury of being close to me in my gym.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that just live far away. And the others, I just have them like personal training. I actually have a personal trainer, a client in a couple of hours. So yeah, I'm gonna
From
be done with the
today.
interview. Just go back home, change up,
Yeah.
and just go again.
And just go
So,
to the
yeah.
gym. Yeah. So from working with people who are, I would say, obese or struggling with weight issues, what would you say is the most common thing they all struggled with?
The mentality.
The mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just exactly what we were highlighting basically since the beginning of the show. I wouldn't say they give up quickly. They don't give up quickly, but they start to have a lot of doubts.
Yeah.
So as soon as we start to hit that plateau, this is when they start doubting themselves. Like, hey, I'm coming to the gym every single day. I'm trying this. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I feel like I'm not losing the weight anymore. Okay, you just need to be a little bit more patient. I'm gonna go over your plan. We're gonna make sure everything is okay, and then we can just move forward. Hello. We move forward. He loses a little bit of weight, then we hit another plateau. He starts to get depressed again.
Yeah.
So it's that mental aspect where like I'm trying to make people understand, like, hey, don't be don't be defeated or don't have this depressed mindset that I'm not losing the weight. We're
Yeah.
gonna lose it. We're gonna lose it. Trust me. But you just need to have that patience. So I think the two major things that I would mention about my clients or the people that I've worked with so far is the fact that they get in that depressive mindset very quickly. And the second thing that I want to mention is they don't have that delayed gratification mindset. They
Oh,
want everything
you
really
want now?
quickly.
Yeah,
So I think we live in a generation where everything is very readily available on your phone. You can basically order whatever you want to. You can have whatever you want to just from
right.
clicks of a button.
Yeah,
But losing weight and going to the gym and just fitness in general, uh, it's one of those last things on earth, I believe, that requires patience, that really does require effort, that you have to stay in it long enough and you have to be consistent enough for you to see results.
yeah,
And in this generation that we live in, basically in 2025, not a lot of people have the willingness to be patient.
yeah.
So yeah.
And honestly, this reminds me of something. I think it was The Rock in one of his videos where it says this is the only kind of sport where it's you against you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
There's nobody else that's, stopping your progress. It's
Yeah.
only you. And I think for a lot of people, they want to take something very important from this episode is that you have to be your best self. You don't have to look for motivation from anywhere.
You have to be your best self, and you also have to be 100% accountable of your actions on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
See, because again, bodybuilding is a 100% you sport. It's a 24-hour sport that just revolves around your decisions.
yeah,
If you mess up on your diet, if you eat a cookie by mistake, if you go out with your friends and just have some junk food,
it adds up.
it all adds up. So you have to be 100% accountable. You
Yeah,
cannot blame your coach. You cannot blame your genetics. You cannot blame anything but yourself and your daily actions on every single day.
yeah,
So yes, I do believe that bodybuilding is a you versus you, or like a competition of me versus me, because you're basically proving yourself every single day that I am tougher than I was yesterday. I'm
yeah,
tougher than I was a month ago. I was tougher than I am a year ago.
yeah,
So it's 100% one of those last sports that requires you to be 100% accountable of your actions.
yeah. And because we are running out of time, I do want to leave you with one last, I think, a very important question is that if you have a very key advice for people who are trying to start their weight loss journey,
Okay.
what would it be?
A very key advice:
Yeah,
stay consistent enough. Don't listen to other people, and do not let anybody disrupt your train of thought.
yeah,
Always have a calm, level-headed mind, even in the midst of chaos, even when you think like your entire world is basically falling apart. Always have that confidence in yourself, and always have confidence in your plan that you're eventually going to reach your goals. So I think there's a lot of people that are very easily influenced by their friends, by their family. In this sport, you have to be 100% your own cheerleader,
yeah,
basically. So yeah, I would say consistency and not letting anybody influence you in a negative way.
yeah,
Just having that mental toughness to always believe in yourself no matter what.
yeah.
Because nobody believed in me. I believed in me.
And that's the only one that matters, right? It's you.
100%.
And I do love how, before I began this interview, the expectation is that we're going to be talking about so much of the physical part, but in highlighting the mental part and how much of a role it plays in
Of course.
shaping who you are, I think that leaves us with a much better, message for this episode. So I do want to thank you for that.
No problems.
Thank you. And again,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, pleasures, right? Again, thank you for joining us. This was very enlightening. This was very educational, especially for someone like me who I've shared before we started shooting that I was kind of fat before. So this
You're
was
in great shape,
for me.
brother. You're in
I'm
great shape.
trying. I'm still a bit of foodie, but I'm trying to get there.
Everybody's a foodie, man. I'm also a foodie,
Yeah.
but hey, we can always
It's
find
the
a way.
delicacies of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you again on the
Thank you for
Untold.
having me.
Thank you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned until after the break. And with that, we have reached the conclusion of today's episode of The Untold. Another great episode because for me personally, who have suffered with a lot of weight issues throughout the years, this was very highlighting and educational for me. The idea of tackling the mental aspect of weight loss is something that is lost in so many people. They don't address it. It's always about the diets, the workouts. Not a lot of people talk about the mentality it takes. So I was really happy that today we got through that. With that in mind, we're going to see you on the next episode of The Untold. But until then, stay tuned.